Origins and Early Struggles. Karl Malone was born in Summerfield, Louisiana, a small town where opportunities were as scarce as the summer rain. Growing up in a modest household, Karl's world was defined by hard work and relentless determination. His father, a postman, and his mother, a homemaker, instilled in him the values of perseverance and discipline, qualities that would later shape the very essence of his basketball career. From an early age, Karl was drawn to the game of basketball, not as a fleeting hobby but as a beacon of hope amid the uncertainties of life. The dusty courts of Summerfield became his sanctuary, where he spent countless hours honing his skills. Tall and sturdy even as a boy, Malone possessed a raw physicality that set him apart from his peers. But talent alone would not guarantee success. The real battle was against circumstance and self-doubt. High school brought a mix of challenges and promise. Malone attended a school where resources were limited, and the path to college basketball was anything but assured. Yet, his relentless work ethic shone through. Coaches noticed not just his imposing presence on the court but his unyielding commitment to improvement. Every missed shot, every fall, every hard-fought rebound only fueled his desire to rise above. Despite these efforts, Malone faced an internal conflict that would shadow much of his early life. The question of whether he could break free from the small-town expectations and carve out a place for himself on the grand stage. It was a daunting uncertainty, balancing hope with the reality of a world that often seemed indifferent to dreams like his. His college years marked a pivotal chapter. Malone enrolled at Louisiana Tech University, a place that offered a broader platform but also introduced him to fierce competition and greater scrutiny. Here, the stakes were higher. Each game was a test of his resolve, each opponent a reminder that talent must be paired with mental toughness. But Malone's character, forged in the trials of his youth, refused to waver. He embraced every challenge with grit, transforming doubt into determination. Behind the scenes, Karl's story was not just about basketball. It was about a young man wrestling with his identity and future, trying to find where he truly belonged. The court was his battleground, but the conflict extended far beyond. Would he be content with a quiet life, or was he destined to carry a legacy far bigger than himself? As his college career progressed, whispers began to circulate. This was a player unlike any other, a force to be reckoned with. Yet, Malone remained grounded, his focus sharp. The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear: Karl Malone was no ordinary athlete. His journey was only just beginning. And so, from the dusty courts of a small Louisiana town to the brighter lights of college arenas, the stage was set. The question remained: could Karl Malone deliver on the promise that flickered within him? The answer would unfold not just through points scored or games won, but through the relentless spirit that refused to quit. Rise to NBA stardom and partnership. The 1985 NBA draft was a defining moment for Karl Malone. Selected 13th overall by the Utah Jazz, Malone stepped into a league filled with giants, where raw talent was just the entry ticket. The true test was proving he belonged among the elite. For a young man shaped by struggle, the NBA was both a dream realized and a new battlefield. Malone's arrival in Utah was unassuming, yet beneath his quiet demeanor burned an unyielding fire. His relentless work ethic quickly earned him the nickname, the Mailman, because he always delivered. It was not just his strength or scoring ability that distinguished him, but his consistency, day in and day out. Malone was a player coaches could depend on, opponents feared, and teammates respected. But no great story is written alone. Enter John Stockton, a point guard as tenacious and steady as Malone was powerful and explosive. Together, they forged one of the most formidable duos in NBA history. Stockton's precision passing and Malone's scoring prowess created a synergy that transformed the Utah Jazz into perennial contenders. Their partnership wasn't born overnight. It was built on mutual respect and an unspoken understanding. Stockton's uncanny court vision perfectly complemented Malone's physical dominance. Every pick-and-roll play became a choreographed dance, frustrating defenses and thrilling fans. Their chemistry was a blend of hard work, trust, and an unwavering commitment to team success. As Malone's career progressed, so did his reputation. He was a force in the paint, using his strength and agility to dominate rebounds and score with brutal efficiency. His ability to combine power with finesse set him apart in an era crowded with great forwards. More than that, Malone's resilience in the face of physical punishment, absorbing hits, battling through injuries, cemented his legend. Despite his individual brilliance, Malone's story was never about personal glory alone. It was about lifting his team, pushing the Jazz closer to a championship that always seemed just out of reach. Playoff battles became a testament to Malone's perseverance, but also to the heartbreaking near misses that tested his resolve. The central conflict was clear: greatness pursued but never fully captured. Malone's MVP-caliber seasons were punctuated by moments of brilliance, game-winning shots, dominating performances, and a presence that commanded respect. Yet, the championship ring eluded him. This paradox fueled his drive, deepening his character beyond that of a mere scorer to a symbol of relentless ambition. Off the court, Malone's persona was different: quiet, grounded, often reflective. His intensity on the hardwood contrasted with a humble nature away from the spotlight. This duality added layers to the man behind the legend, making him relatable even as he reached the heights of basketball stardom. As the Jazz climbed closer to the summit of NBA glory, Malone and Stockton's bond became emblematic of teamwork and perseverance. Their story was not just about talent, but about how two very different men could unite toward a shared dream, defying expectations and redefining what a partnership in sports could be. Yet, beneath the victories and accolades lay a deeper tension, a hunger for that elusive championship and the sacrifices it demanded. Malone's journey was far from over. The next chapters would test his spirit like never before. Trials, controversies, and personal life. Behind Karl Malone's towering presence on the court lay a more complicated, human story, a tale marked by trials that tested not just his skills, but his character. Fame and success brought scrutiny, and with it, controversies that would challenge the man beyond the game. Malone's fierce competitiveness sometimes spilled into physical altercations and confrontations. Known for his rugged style, he was a player who embraced contact, but this also made him a lightning rod for criticism. Opponents and analysts debated whether his toughness crossed the line. For Malone, the line was blurred by his belief that winning demanded sacrifice, both physical and emotional. Off the hardwood, Malone's life was equally complex. His personal relationships became public fodder, with revelations that stirred controversy and complicated his reputation. A difficult chapter emerged involving family struggles that many found hard to reconcile with the heroic image on the court. These moments of personal turmoil brought Malone face to face with challenges that no amount of basketball prowess could solve. Yet, these trials revealed a side of Malone rarely seen by fans, the vulnerable man striving to make peace with his past and present. His journey was one of reconciliation, balancing fame with family, ambition with accountability. In private, Malone took steps to address mistakes and rebuild fractured relationships, a testament to his growth and resilience. Public perception, however, remained divided. For some, Malone was an unbreakable warrior, a symbol of grit and determination. For others, the controversies cast shadows that complicated his legacy. But Malone himself seemed to accept these contradictions, aware that life's complexities rarely fit into simple narratives. Throughout these struggles, Malone's commitment to the game never wavered. He channeled adversity into performance, often using personal pain as fuel. His determination to lead the Jazz to a championship became a mission to prove that greatness was forged not just in victory, but through endurance. Charity work and community involvement offered another facet to Malone's character. Away from the limelight, he quietly supported causes close to his heart, showing a generosity that contrasted with his fierce on-court persona. These actions added depth to his story, reminding the world that behind the legend was a man striving to give back. As Malone navigated the twilight of his playing days, the question loomed: how would history remember him? Would it be as a champion forever chasing a ring, or as a complex figure whose imperfections made his triumphs all the more human? The unresolved tension between public perception and personal redemption shaped the narrative of Malone's later years. It was a story of a man wrestling with his past while still fighting for future glory. This internal conflict created a profound emotional resonance that went beyond statistics and highlights. With his legacy still in motion, Malone's journey was far from complete. The final chapters would reveal not only his impact on the game but the enduring strength of a man who faced his demons and continued to rise. Legacy and impact. Karl Malone's name is etched deeply into the history of basketball, a testament not only to his extraordinary talent but to an unwavering spirit that defined a generation. Though the elusive NBA championship ring slipped just beyond his grasp, Malone's legacy transcends trophies and statistics. It is a story of resilience, dedication, and lasting influence. At the time of his retirement, Malone ranked second all-time in NBA scoring, a staggering achievement that speaks to his consistency and dominance over 2 decades. Yet, numbers alone cannot capture the full measure of his impact.